One of the main reasons why the US government spends so much money on defense is because of the fact that private manufacturers and private companies get contracts that are extremely expensive, when in reality we could just be supplying certain things without having to deal with these contracts. Well, here is a specific example of government wasted money that comes from us taxpayers that goes toward nonsense in the Middle East specifically. So the Pentagon is now having to answer to this, what I consider scandal involving uniforms that were purchased for Afghan soldiers, okay? So I'm gonna show you this report and then I'm gonna give you more details into what really happened. Take a look.
The Pentagon has apparently spent $28 million on forced camouflage Afghanistan military uniforms rather than give them other patterns that cost nothing. USA Today says the forced pattern is privately owned, whereas other camouflage schemes owned by the US government are free. A 17-page report noted that forests cover only 2.1% of Afghanistan's total land area, making the woodland camo highly ineffective in most scenarios.
Not only did they spend more money than they needed to on these uniforms for these Afghan soldiers, they purchased uniforms that aren't even effective, that wouldn't actually camouflage them because they're not fighting in the forest, they're fighting in desert terrain.
$28 million at a minimum for purchasing those specific uniforms, gone. You just threw $28 million in the garbage.
But you know, we waste a lot of money on public education and healthcare and entitlements, right? That's where we really need to focus.
You want to look for waste? Look at the Pentagon. They throw $28 million in the garbage before you know what hit you. So those camouflage uniforms actually do the opposite. If you're in desert terrain and you're wearing those bright green outfits, you're gonna stick out like a sore thumb. It's gonna get people killed on top of the money that you wasted. And this is the most infuriating part, was a no bid contract. Why? We've been in the middle of Afghanistan for what, like 16 years now? Where's the emergency? Remember when Dick Cheney first told us, oh no, we got to do no bid contracts because I hate capitalism. I mean, I love capitalism, but I just want to give contracts to my friends.
That's right.
Without any competition. So, because they said, it's an emergency, we got to act right away. So this is a 16-year emergency. There's no emergency here for how to buy more uniforms in Afghanistan. You just wanted to make somebody that you know rich. I don't know who did it and how they benefited from that company, but somebody definitely benefited in an outrageous way here.
Think about it. The US government could have supplied those uniforms and it would have costed us nothing. But instead, they chose to spend or waste $28 million on ineffective camo gear that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
And by the way, that's the latest.
That's the latest, yes.
Since 2007, we've spent $93 million on 1.3 million uniforms for just Afghan soldiers. Simply by using a camouflage pattern owned but not currently used by the US military, we could have saved taxpayers $71 million. 71 million in the garbage, but no, we don't have money for education. We don't have money for healthcare because we had to buy the wrong uniform so somebody can get rich over here in the US.
You guys, we fall for it time and time again. I mean, it's amazing. They're master manipulators in Congress, the executive branch. They're master manipulators because they convince us to focus on fighting each other while the people at the top are giving out these lucrative contracts to their wealthy buddies, right? That's where our taxpayer money is being wasted. It's not being wasted on entitlements, which by the way, we funded, we paid into. Every time I look at my paycheck, I see how much of that goes toward Medicare, how much of that goes toward, Social Security, all of these programs that again, we're paying into. So don't let them point at us and make it seem as though we're the bad guys because we actually want to get the benefits that we paid into. Those are not the issues here. The issue is the real waste happening with the Pentagon, with military spending, with defense spending. It's all BS, and don't make them convince you that it's all in the name of national security.
When Bernie Sanders was running, they told him, no, your plan of like $70 billion for free college education so that people can live the American dream, so that middle class kids could have the same chance as rich kids? No, unaffordable. No way, can't do it. Do you know how much we've spent to train and equip Afghan security forces? $66 billion. And how's that working out for us? So now Defense Secretary James Mattis says, oh no, we have to send thousands of more American troops because the Afghan troops can't fight on their own. After we wasted $66 billion Then they tell us there's no money for your kids' education or healthcare. It's gross. Help us build independent media together. Come join us, tytnetwork.com/join.